Next will be our sales invoices. The first option is to choose how you want your sales invoices to be entered. Do you want all your orders to go under, all your orders to have matching customers in your Sage? So for example, if John Smith is a Shopify customer, do you want a John Smith customer in your Sage? So it would then make a customer profile per order you receive, and or look up that customer to see if it finds a match. So that's this first option. The second option is if you want all your orders to go under a single customer. For example, I have this 00 cash customer. If I select that, all my Shopify orders that don't become sales invoices or sale orders will go under this 00 cash customer. So this might be like an online sales customer. All your Shopify orders just go into this online sale one. So for this demonstration, I will funnel all these orders into a cash account. If you have particular customers that might need overriding, for example, you want all your Shopify orders to go into a online customer or a cash account like this one, but maybe you have one or two customers that need to go into their own profile, you can then go into your Shopify, set up a tag to tag this customer. You can say something like special customer, and then that special customer can get assigned to a particular account. So all orders will go into this cash account, but if they're tagged with special customer, then they'll go into this customer account. So you can set up all these different rule-based matchings if you want. You can also then say this customer is tax exempt, so we won't put taxes on it. Another override, you can do sort of like a more generic one. You can just say, again, special customer. And if this is set, well, then it'll ignore this setting unless if it has this tag. And if it has this tag, it will then look for this customer. So if you want John Smith to not be in this generic cash account, but you have a John Smith customer already in Sage, it will then find John Smith, put him in there if he has this special customer tag. And this tag could be anything. It could just be like John Smith, and it will also find it. We'll turn that off as well. You can have generic GL accounts. So your GL accounts will always be set to the default customer profile it's going into. But if you have specific GL accounts that have specific requirements based on an order, for example, maybe a wholesale order comes in and you want that to be assigned to like a wholesale GL account, you can then tag orders with wholesale and then assign it to a different one. For example, let's imagine this 4900 is a wholesale account. Well, then you can have all your other ones that are going into the professional fees, which we set up prior in our Sage invoices, or our customer default. Like we set up here, we had 4,000, so all the things are going to go into this 4,000 account. But if we had set up this one, if the order has a tag, it will then write the invoice and the line items into this 4,900 account. We'll turn that off. Job mapping, if you use job mappings and job IDs for cost center, for call centers, or cost centers I should say, you can also set that up by enabling it. Again, you can have a specific tag. I don't have any job IDs in this company profile, but you can then have a tag that would say, like, if an order has, you know, job ID A as a tag, well then, and you want to track that particular cost of that sale, you can then assign the job ID, and on the invoice, it'll be assigned that job ID for you. Another setting here, use Sage internal invoice numbering instead of Shopify order numbers. Pretty self-explanatory. Like our sales orders one, it'll just use the internal Sage number instead of assigning the Shopify order number. So by default, the system is going to use this as your order number, or whatever you have here. If you don't want all orders to be entered or particular ones to be skipped, you can set that up with a specific tag here just by saying like skip on a order. So you need to create an order tag that would automatically tag these orders for you to skip. Sagify will look for this tag. If it's present, it'll skip it. Sort line items by SKU, a little self-evident, but it will sort them by ascending or descending SKU numbers. Right now, it'll by default just sort of do it by description or how they're coming in from Shopify. Just some formatting things. You can add a separator row between different items if you'd like. Clean up your invoice. If you want to include the Shopify transaction fees on your invoices, you can do that, and then you can also assign it an account. If you have GST and tax inclusive, you can put that here. Separate line item discounts is a separate line item. So if you discounted a particular product in your store and you want the discount to actually appear on another line, so let's say you sell something for $100, but you give a $10 discount on it, the invoice by default would say $90. If you select this option, it would say $100. Then there'd be another line item which would say -10, and it would get assigned to this GL account if you'd like. This way you can track your product discounts to know how much discounting you're giving to customers. There's an option to skip $0 orders. Maybe these are just sample orders or sponsorships or giveaway things, and you don't really need those to go into your accounting system. Those are typically $0 orders, so you can then skip those items or skip those orders completely. You can then be a bit more granular and say, well, if there's $0 line items, I also don't want that on the invoice for whatever reason. You can skip this. We have the Shopify order number in the customer PO field. This just helps track things. You can turn it off, but it'll basically create an invoice that will set the Shopify order number here. So if your order number was 1234, it would also put it here. This just helps searchability, but if you don't like it there and you want to use it for something else, you can turn it off. Smart receipts for sales invoices. Again, similar concept to the smart receipts for sales orders, except this time the invoice is entering, and as soon as it's entering, it's getting a payment assigned to it, so it's making a receipt, and it just marks it as paid. So then if you want to, depending on how you handle Shopify payouts, you can mark all these individual invoices as paid, and then when you do a reconciliation for your payments, you can then just quickly assign them to that payment that you're receiving. I will turn it off though because I want everything to be entered as unpaid, because the way I will do payouts, I use these unpaid invoices, then I assign them all to a receipt. Just different ways of doing it. So let's save this.